connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson here for the Sports Arena. Yes, we are live on a Wednesday night because we are in the middle of NBA playoffs, and there was no way the crew and I were not going to not be on tonight talking about what has been going on. So let me just go ahead and get them all in here. Y'all know the entire crew. We got Megan Price from 806 and Sip Off, Ty Ray, Say What, Say It Again. Hell of a show last night. Mike Caratuno, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast. And my man in the top, Alex Fleming, Florida Summer View, Fancy and Flavors. And as he has put up there, apparently trapping ain't dead. So what's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Where's John? Is he still pouting because he said Kevin Durant's soft?
I mean, if I talked all that junk he talked, I wouldn't be here either.
But
just saying.
Shots fired.
He might be looking for his jersey. I don't know, man.
I'm sure John Scheer, Sideline Sports Network, will be joining us here tonight. But let's talk about it because we got Game 5 going on right now between the Sixers and the Atlanta Hawks. And Alex, you like to get on that football team down there in the ATL. If you will allow me, sir, I'd like to discuss that basketball team down there that they try to be birds, but they can't be flapping their gums and then not expect to come to Philly and not get punched in the mouth. So, let's just call it what it is. When Clint Capella wants to sit up there and talk about Joel Embiid not being able to play the game and be a big man, and then he comes out there and just dominates you from jump, you might want to be careful with that little gold spot in your head because it might turn red really quick. I'm just gonna get that out. Let me say. But to Mike's point, I'm not bitter, and this ain't the smoking section. So I had to have a Megan Price mic drop moment to start the show off here tonight. Say what? I'm gonna say it again. Clint Capella, watch your mouth, because when you come to Philly, you finna get punched in it. So that being said, Alex, talk to me about what you're seeing so far. I know you busy trying to catch a little bit of the game here and there, sir, but talk to me about this Sixers Hawks, sir.
Well, like my emoji says, trapping ain't dead. When you get caught up in the hood and all you see is red, and you in that blue in the Philly, something might happen to you. Bro, Joel Embiid been murking people. In the first quarter, I believe
he was 8 for
8, and he was 8 for 8 for 17 points. He hitting fall-away jumpers, and he playing bully ball. They're going down low, and they are abusing them boys down low. Please believe that. Trae Young out with a shoulder injury, so it's just getting uglier. They cut the lead a little bit, but Philly going to get this game and probably win the series because, the winner in Game 5 wins the series 78% of the time. So,
yes,
ATL needs to get big because they slipping right now. They ain't getting up.
Megan Price from 806 and the Sip Off. I know you want to have a drink in your hand watching this game, but I know you're excited for that game moving forward. And we're going to get to the Clippers in a minute. But, Megan, let's talk about Atlanta for a minute. Because Atlanta, listen, for all the junk that I just talked about them, they are a young, scrappy team. A team that I did not anticipate was going to be in the playoffs this season. I didn't even have them in the top 10. I thought they'd finish maybe 11, 12. They might get the playoff game. Yeah, Mike, I know. Okay, a broke clock is right twice a day.
I picked them to be in the playoffs too, actually on
Tyreek
show.
Megan,
I didn't.
Megan, you are a woman. You are a woman with severe knowledge. Mike just gets lucky. Let's just call it what it is. So,
Thank you.
I'm in a mood. I'm letting y'all know I am in a mood. Ty had me going this morning at 9:15. We did a live Say What, Say It Again show. James came on the show. Alex, I was calling out Avery. I don't know where he is, but he hiding from you, I think, bro. But I told him last night on the show, I'm like, yo, y'all need to just come on the sports media and get it done. I think it's about that time. But I'm sorry, Megan. Please, let me go back to you. When you look at Atlanta, depending on how this series finishes out, whether they win or they lose, are you impressed with what you've seen so far under the head coach and Trae Young?
Absolutely. I think Indiana Pacers should be kicking themselves in the behind for letting Nate McMillan go. And then they turned right around the next season, and fire their next head coach. Atlanta looks awesome. And they had the best record since they fired their coach and hired Nate McMillan. They had the best record going forward. So they look great. They need some development, but it's going to take a little bit of time. I anticipate them to be in their best play in about a season or two, but probably 2 seasons away from their best play. But they're great. They're on the come up. And while everybody's talking about how great Embiid is, Seth Curry has 32 points right now.
Well, I mean, when your last name Curry, we expect you to have hot. Yeah, you can shoot like that. So, right. Mr. Caratanudo, Mr. Tyree, Mr. John Shear, gentlemen, let's just say for argument's sake that the Sixers actually do pull this out and they advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you give them a shot versus either team, versus a Brooklyn or a Milwaukee? And Ty, I'll start with you.
Yeah. Well, to piggyback off what Megan said, obviously you got to talk about Steph Curry. He has 32 points. I mean, the crazy thing is only 2 people in double figures, though. Embiid, Steph Curry. But to answer your question, if they played the Bucks and the Bucks were healthy, I'm sorry, not the Bucks. If they played the Nets and the Nets were healthy, I don't see them beating the Nets. But if they played the Bucks, I very much will. If Embiid is close to 100%, I think they could beat I think that'll be a better series, the Bucks versus the Sixers, than the Sixers versus the Nets, because I just don't feel like the Sixers can score enough to. I mean, you got 2 guys in double figures. If the Nets is at full strength, they'll have at least 3 guys in double figures, maybe 4. Because what's my man name? Megan's guy will be so wide open, he'll hit 4 or 5 threes. I mean, heck, he gonna be wide open. He said, "Well, no, Joe Harris."
Joe Harris.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Your guy. So I mean, heck, if I was in that system, I might could hit 4 or 5 threes if I was that wide open. I'm just saying, and I'm not a 3-point shooter. Shout out to my boy John. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey.
John,
where's your pretzel, John? Where's your soft pretzel, John?
They were looking for you, John.
49 points is real soft.
49
points is real soft. Yeah, 49 points is soft, but I'm sure we're going to hear excuses. Go ahead.
How many possessions? How many possessions did Giannis cover Durant? Oh, is that 0? Oh, is that a goose egg?
What does that got to do with anything?
That means the defensive player of the year, former defensive player of the year, did not cover Kevin Durant.
But what does that got to do with anything?
He's the former defensive player of the year.
Whose choice was that? Whose choice was that?
How's that relevant?
Okay.
It's relevant because Kevin Durant doesn't go for 49 if he's covered by a defensive player of the year instead of scrubs.
Yeah. When I seen Giannis on him, he was cooking Giannis, but okay.
Mr. Fleming wants to get in real quick.
Didn't Middleton make first team all defense too?
Mike,
it's different than a defensive player of the year.
Let me get Alex in here, and then I'm going to come back to the 3 of you. Mr. Fleming, go ahead, sir.
49, 17, and 10 isn't easy to do. I don't give a damn who's on you. And Giannis didn't want that smoke. Giannis did not want that smoke. Giannis also had 3 fouls, by the way. So sticking Giannis on Kevin Durant whenever he's cooking like that would not have been a smart solution. If you remember, they had a double-digit lead on Brooklyn in the first quarter and the second half, as a matter of fact. And Durant became Durantula. So, yeah, I mean, that 3-time defensive player of the year or that defensive player of the year thing that Giannis got, I think if I'm Rudy Gobert, I want my snack back because he don't deserve that because he's been dunking Durant, bro.
Okay, let me ask this question to John, to Mike, and to Ty. Megan, you, Alex, and I are going to take a step back real quick. Gentlemen, are we putting all of this, because let's just transition over to that game from last night. Are we putting all of this on Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, and the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks? Or are we putting it on the coaching of Mike Budenholzer? And I want the 3 of you gentlemen to answer that question.
Hold on 1 second. Are we putting what on them? The fact that Durant went crazy,
the fact that Durant, being KD, being Durantula, with a decoy like James Harden, and again, like I said this morning, no disrespect to James Harden, you played 46 minutes, and what did you do? You did your job as being a part of the supporting cast. So that's why I say, Ty, Mike, John, are we putting what happened last night on Giannis, and Chris Middleton and the rest of that crew, or are we putting it on the coaching of Mike Budenholzer?
I mean, anytime you lose a big lead like that, some of it has to go to coaching. But at the same time, the coach ain't out there taking shots. Down the stretch, their game should never even been close. They were smacking the Brooklyn. And I don't even, be honest with you, I didn't even really watch the first half. I started watching probably late in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, because that's when it actually really became a game, because they were smacking Brooklyn for the majority of the game. I mean, it's on the coach when you lose a lead like that, but at the same time, I see Giannis coming down, shooting fadeaway jumpers. It's just like what are you doing, bro? Like,
Ty, how about that play where Harden called the double team off on one leg? He calls a double team off, and Giannis shoots a fadeaway. That's the difference between between Philly and Milwaukee, real quick, because I think Philly can beat Milwaukee. I think Philly can beat Brooklyn because of what Eric said with bully ball. And what I'm just saying to you, real quick, is that Harden called the double team off. Giannis went to that. Charles Barkley's been calling for it the whole damn series. Like, they can't guard you down low. Yeah, you're not going to make every basket. You might not get every foul call. It's the playoffs, fine. But Giannis could score 40 down low. He could just sit there down low and back people down. Joel Embiid, yeah, he will take a fadeaway here or there. But when you piss him off, all he's shown, obviously tonight too, in a crappy performance the other night, he'll play bully ball. He'll back you down. I mean, you said you could shoot wide open threes. You could probably shoot wide open threes with Embiid too, Ty, because he'll just back people down and beat them up.
Shaq used to do that. Shaq used to do that.
Curry got 34?
Down. Yeah. Yep. Remember those days with Shaq? I mean, even if he didn't score, he still beat you down and bruised you. And throughout the game, that wears you down when a big dude does that to you, time after time on the offensive side of the ball.
I mean,
Miss Megan Price, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if any of y'all saw my post last night, but I think this is the moment that you got to get a different coach in there. I absolutely do believe the coach is a big part of what happened in that loss. Yeah, you can't contain what Durant was doing last night. Literally, what Durant accomplished last night, no one has done ever in the playoffs. So not to take anything away from his performance at all.
Say it again, Megan. Say it again. Say that again.
Wait, what do you mean? Never done.
Milwaukee. Put Don Staley in Milwaukee. You need someone who aggressively wants to win, and Don Staley is the right fit for Milwaukee.
I also think that partially falls on Giannis because, I mean, we see it in the NFL. We see it, guys like Tom Brady, they call for plays. They call for the ball to be in their hands and things like that. The great ones want the ball. They want it to be on them. We don't see that from Giannis.
Yeah, but
we don't see him say, hey, Durant is mine, get out of the way. We see that with LeBron. We've seen that in LeBron's career.
Yeah, John, but I think what she's saying is Budenholzer should be putting Giannis in position to be successful. Him bringing the ball up and having it at the top of the key and trying to cross up Blake Griffin and then backing back out and trying to cross him up again and get to the rack. Like, come on, dude. I agree with you making 100% Ty, but here's the thing. If you're a player come on, we've all played, granted, okay, none of us played at the NBA level or making it to the WNBA level. I get it. But having played and getting to talk to coaches and be around it, there's some point where, and as cheesy as it is, I think back to Hoosiers where the kid stopped making the fourth pass and just kept shooting and hitting shots, and he put him on the bench. It's a battle of wills there. But at the same time, as a player, if you know you're that dominant, I mean, look, Charles Barkley, who, by the way, is the only person in history to have a better shooting percentage to go for 40, 15, and 10, because Ernie Johnson mentioned that last night. Ernie Johnson mentioned that last night. If Kevin Durant had hit one more shot, he would have had the highest shooting percentage ever in a 40, 15, 10 night. Barkley did it in 93 here with the Suns. But that being said, Ty, you as a player, or even if Megan and John, if you see something, I mean, that's why you're going to take advantage of it. My other point is, like, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a self-proclaimed terrible shooter. But tell me another point guard you wouldn't want in the game, because what did he do as a bigger point guard? I saw it here in Phoenix. He backed little dudes down. I mean, he bullied them into the post and either got guys open shots or went in for a layup. If you're Giannis and you're 6'11", you have Harden on you. Look, Harden proved he can play defense when healthy. But if I'm Giannis
if I see you if I see you shoo a double team off and you're on one leg, dude, I'm taking you to the hole and dunking it on your face.
Yep, every time.
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
but
I
also, too, a
absolutely
coach-
agree.
but-
Some of that's on Giannis. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
yeah,
have
some
the
of it-
heart of a champion.
Yeah, some of it's on Giannis, but at the same time, coach has to remind you of that too.
Absolutely.
I mean,
But
Bad
He's
coaching calls
he's
last
not a second-year player. He's an MVP and a defensive player of the year. He's
I
got to
got
take
it.
this himself at some
I
point.
got it, John. But if he's always played the same way, then you as a coach need to put him somewhere else. Stop
And they
letting
need
him
a
bring
new
the
coach.
ball up so much. Put him in. Put
Yeah,
him in the
Ty makes a
post.
great point, John. What if Phil Jackson?
Put him
I
in
mean,
the
the
post.
famous line from Phil Jackson to Michael Jordan. Do you want to win scoring
tell
titles,
y'all
or do you
what,
want to win
it's time up.
championships? Do you want to
Well,
win?
it's
Do you
time
want to
up.
win scoring titles? Or do you want to win championships? And Michael Jordan figured, well, okay, yes, I'm still going to get my points, but the ball's got to get out of his hands. Giannis, I'm not saying it's not. Phil changed it up. So to the point, Ty, the coach does have to change it up. And yeah, maybe Mike Budenholzer should be gone, but if I'm
Hey,
Giannis,
guys. Hey
I'm taking
guys,
him down.
real talk. I have to agree with Megan Price of the Sip Off. I think that team needs a new voice because Budenholzer has been in that position for quite some time since he got exited from ATL. And the best they got was the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, this team's been getting embarrassed by Toronto. They got embarrassed by what? Boston. They got embarrassed last year by another team in the Miami. I mean, how many times are you going to have the same issue where you can't guard a post player, a four destroys your whole team, and you don't have guard play? And Giannis, the former defensive player of the year once or twice with the MVP, is missing on action on defense.
Yeah.
I think they need a different voice, and whether it's Becky Hammond, Dawn Staley, Chauncey Billups, or Jason Kidd, somebody new needs to go in and save them.
He doesn't play angry ever.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so we got a question here that I want everybody to just really quick just give their thoughts on, because our man, the future, actually I just call him Dr. Heslip, is joining us here. He's like, if the Sixers got kicked out of the playoffs, does this say anything for Doc as a coach? Megan
No.
Price, what's okay?
Absolutely.
Fine.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. He had the same issue when he was in the Clippers, which I know we think they're cursed. But even the only other thing that he has under his belt is what we were talking about, what y'all were talking about this morning, is a super team. They weren't all drafted there. They created that super team there in Boston. And what else? And then they got one championship. They didn't get more than that. That's all they got. And then, Ray Allen ended up going to Miami, joining another super team. So absolutely, I know, John. I mean, sometimes you bring up the Spurs too. It happens.
Yeah, I know. We had that little rivalry for a couple years back.
Right.
I remember.
Right. Sometimes it happens, but no, absolutely, it speaks to Doc because they have pretty much the same roster that they've had, or the same stars that they've had. The only thing they've done is trade Josh and get Seth Curry. That's the only difference that they've done really to their roster. So it's coaching. And I think they looked better this year because of Doc. But if they lose, it's because of Doc also.
Well, you win by the sword, you die by the sword. All right, so let's move, because we did talk about it, and John, you did, man. You're gonna have to eat some crow on this one, bro. You called.
Oh, no. I still. Are you talking about Kevin Durant?
Yes, sir.
One game does not make a man. Historically great game, I'll give you that. But how many championships has he won this postseason? Oh, 0. It's just a game 5. It's not that
Nobody's
big
won
a
any
deal.
of this postseason.
Exactly. He
But-
didn't win the
What are you talking about?
championship off this. It didn't happen in the finals.
I-
Good for him. Great game. Series isn't over.
I agree with you, John. But when your backs
Let's
are
not-
against,
Not
when
be a
you're
prisoner of the moment.
okay, but I'm gonna be
You're
present.
a prisoner
I'm
of
not
the
gonna be a prisoner of the
Yeah.
moment. I'm gonna be
You're being a
present
hater of
in
the
the moment when I say this. Okay, and let me talk to my man John Shear, Sideline Sports Network, for a minute, if I can, please. Mr.
Bring it
Shear, you and I have a great level of respect for each other, but there are times when we disagree on a couple of things, and I just feel like we just aren't seeing eye to eye. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to agree to disagree, but you said don't be a prisoner of the moment, and I'm not going to be. I'm going to be present in the moment. KD, knowing that it fell on him last night, when you are called by many, arguably the greatest player today in the NBA, and debatable, fine. But for this argument, I'm gonna say he is. You're saying debatable. I'm cool with that. For him to go out and execute the game that he had last night, in what could have been, damn near, if they didn't win last night, it was pretty much going to be over tomorrow.
Maybe legacy defining, right? maybe legacy defining, to be honest, because
possibly
look at the team he's on, and if you don't win a championship with that.
But see, now this is where we have to factor in injury. Kyrie Irving did not play. James Harden, he did play, which shows the durability and the physical durability. You have to, sir. For last night, you have to give respect to what Kevin Durant was able to accomplish.
Yeah, I don't take away how great of a player he is. I don't think he's the best player in the NBA. That's just my opinion. I know Ty is over there behind the curtain flipping out. He believes Kevin Durant's the best. I know he is. I can see him, and I don't even see him. But I'm not taking away the greatness of Kevin Durant. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying mentally he's soft. Aaron Rodgers, hell of a player, one of the best of all time. He's soft. I mean, I could say Aaron Rodgers is soft. I believe that. One of the best players of all time, but he still is. I mean, you could be great and be soft at the same time. I mean,
all right, we're going to agree to disagree, especially when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. But I'm saying to you, for what transpired last night, Kevin Durant, I think, shot down a lot of the criticism about him not being able to put the game squarely on his back and get the job done. Let me go ahead and get everybody else in here because I know
Eric, can I say something too? Can I say something too? Because
I don't even want to say
bring the heat, baby. Bring the heat.
Ty, and I'm not saying this to pick on you, and I'm not being like I'm just being a KD hater. But look, Kevin Durant played every single minute of that game, right?
Yes.
Puts up 49 points. He has one more free throw. He puts up 50. I've said this to you, Eric, a million times. Like, Kevin Durant's a good shooter, but if it's the last second, I mean, give me Damian Lillard or give me Steph Curry, because I'm telling you right now, on a last second shot, that's my preference.
I want that 6-foot guard.
When it relates to Kevin Durant, like, it is being a hater, because I can say the greatest game and remember, greatest performance in a playoffs I've ever seen was the guy you hated, was Jordan 63 in the Garden against what you said earlier on Ty's show, that Celtics super team, because the only person that was traded for was Dennis Johnson. He was the last piece of that Celtics run, DJ, back in the day. That being said, like, what KD did was unbelievable. I'm just saying, LeBron, if he plays every minute, everybody sits there and gawks over, oh my God, he played every minute, did this and that. And he could shoot like 19 for like 39 or 19 for 45. And people are like, what a game. That's terrible shooting night. They may have won. He may have played every minute. Kevin Durant did put it on the shoulders. Yes, I know the Oklahoma City thing, saying he was soft. Russell Westbrook fed into that. But what he did last night is, like I said, and I said the other night, I said, if he scores 50, they win. Well, I was 1 point off. I didn't think he'd play every single minute, though.
Nah, Mike, you called that. You said that he's going to have a monster performance and almost score 50 for the Nets to pull out the victory. He had a 49-17-10 game. All the haters, bro, they scattered like cockroaches. There's nothing they can say.
Not me.
Except my man Josh.
I don't go anywhere. I back my words up.
All right. Let's leave the conversation there.
Eric,
hold on 1 second, though, Eric.
Hold on 1 second. Ty, I'm gonna give you the last word. Then we are moving on.
But this is my thing. Like, he brought up Michael Jordan. Playing against the Boston Celtics. That's in the '80s when Jordan wasn't shooting a whole lot of jumpers. I know he brought up Charles Barkley in '93. Charles Barkley's not really a jump shooter like that. Not a range. He's not a range jump shooter. But we're talking about a guy that shoots predominantly jumpers. He'll go to the rack occasionally, but he shoots predominantly the mid-range jumpers or threes. And he went 16 for 23. He only turned the ball over 3 times, and I'm pretty sure he had the ball the majority of the daggone game. That's like, I get it. I'm not saying what did he say? I'm not saying I'm not taking nothing away from him. Like, you are taking something away from him. You are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right. We will continue this conversation because there is more to dissect as the playoffs move on. We're gonna take a real quick break. When we come back, we're gonna talk some WNBA because, damn it, that's what we do here on the Sports Arena. More with the crew. We'll be back in a moment.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. Smarterbase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between herself and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
And welcome back to the Sports Arena. The entire gang is with me here. John Scheer, Alex Fleming, Mike Caratanua, Ty Ray, and our girl Megan Price from 806 and the Sip Off. So, yes, the Hawks have made this truly a game. With 21 seconds left, they are up by 3, 107 to the Sixers 104. If there was ever a time for me to need Seth Curry or Tobias Harris or somebody to pull one out, tonight is that night, fellas. You in Philly, get the damn job done. We will keep y'all abreast of the situation, but we are moving to the WNBA. 25 years, hashtag count it, because these ladies are doing something just extraordinary this season. And I want to start with the fact that, Megan, we talk about greatest of all time when it comes to all the sports. Now, I think you and I might differ on this one because you, Miss Megan Price, are saying basically Sue Bird.
No, I'm saying
DT.
I'm saying.
Oh, you are saying DT?
I'm saying.
Oh, then we okay. So then talk to me about Sue Bird, because I feel like this season she's really making a case for why she is arguably one of the greatest of all time. I won't call her the greatest, because that I will always give to either Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, or Rebecca Lobo. To me, those are my three. However,
I can address that one too real quick.
Please go ahead.
DT, if we can take it, Sue. But as far as Sue goes, she took over last night in the game that she played. She took the number 2 spot in the most 3-pointers, and she has like 907. Well, right underneath that, or right above that, you have DT in number 1, and she has 1,173, and she's done that in 2 less seasons, on top of an injured season as well. So for me, DT is the GOAT, and I'm just going to run down some of her awards real quick, just to kind of silence some people. I mean, yes, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, all of them greats, pioneers in the game. But I'm going to run down her resume real quick. She's a 3-time WNBA champion. She's a 2-time WNBA finalist or finals MVP. She's a WNBA MVP. She's a 9-time All-Star. She's a 10-time All-WNBA first team, 4-time All-WNBA second team. She made Rookie of the Year, 5-time scoring champion, WNBA assist leader, 6-time WNBA peak leader. I mean, and that's just WNBA. She's a 6-time EuroLeague champion. She's a 7-time Russian National League champion. She has 4 gold medals. She's a 3-time NCAA champion, a 2-time NCAA tournament player of the year. I mean, her record or her resume goes on and on and on. DT's the GOAT. There's nobody that has accomplished what she's accomplished now. And if you ask Sue Bird is going to tell you her GOAT is Diana Taurasi, and they're very good friends from the same school, very good friends. Now, Sue is the assist leader. And I think what Sue does for the league is very similar to what CP3 does for the league. She's very knowledgeable. She's a floor general, and she's that guard that you want. So definitely Sue Bird's one of the greats. She's on the Mount Rushmore, but DT's the GOAT.
All right, fair enough. I had to get that out there because I know I thought you were going more Sue Bird. Listen,
no, I
DT,
love Sue, but DT's the GOAT. Nobody's done.
Yeah, right. And then let me get Mike in here, because if there is a guy who knows the Phoenix Mercury very well, it's our man out there in AZ, my man Mike Caratanua. So, Mike, I mean, listen, you've had an opportunity to see DT up and close and personal, sir. And could you do me a favor and just not wear that hat anymore? I'm just tired of you in that hat.
Well, I can't. First, real quick, I got to say, I can't believe I picked Philly and you didn't come in like dancing and smiling. I just said with Joel Embiid playing bully ball, they can beat both teams, and you didn't say a word.
I was letting you have your moment, Mike. When you talk good about Philly, I shut up. I'm like, I ain't got to say it. Mike got to say it for me. So,
anyway, the hat's staying on. But look, Diana Taurasi, I mean, I was so stoked when she got drafted here, and I have to admit, like the first season, I didn't get to go see any games, which that's the way it worked out. It was really annoying, but just over time being around her, I mean, the only thing I would say too is I understand she didn't have a pro career, and I know why, but like to me, like the greatest college player of all time would be Cheryl Miller.
Well,
and
yeah,
I don't think
I mean it's just
I don't think I know. I'm just saying, like, she tore her ACL playing pickup games, and then it never obviously she went. I mean, she's coaching now, I think, at Pacific. She's coaching. She's coaching right.
She
No,
retired.
she coached.
No,
this year?
She's retired. Let me see. We did this on the sip off last week. Cheryl Miller's
Oh.
had a great career. She hasn't coached for a year, I think. So
Okay, so
yeah,
right.
I mean, absolutely. She's the one that almost made the NBA. So yeah, you got to give credit due where credit is deserved. And she's a trailblazer in it, but nobody has done what DT's
Right.
done.
Oh no, believe me, I love Diana Taurasi. I mean, the fact like what she did at UConn. I mean, even when Gino talked about her after she after she left and was playing, and then I know she took a lot of crap because when she went to Rush like that year, decided to make all that money and didn't play for the Mercury. But it's like,
I'm gonna
why
need a
would
moment of silence real quick. I apologize. The game is over, and let me get the crew in here because as they said, Hawks won. Son of a 109 to 106. Atlanta pulls out that victory. Alex, stop smiling.
Hey, what did I say Monday? The winner of Game 4 was going to win this series. And you were talking hard, saying, Capella, watch your mouth. Capella had a bad game. Embiid had a beautiful game. But like Tyree said, you only had 2 players in double figures. Atlanta is a young and hungry team.
You also
you know something though,
Indiana and slap somebody.
Yeah, but you know what though? This is something I think that's going to hurt the Sixers. They don't have a closer. Like you don't have a you got Steph Curry, but you don't have a closer. Your best player is a big man. Big mans historically aren't really closers. Obviously you probably don't even want Ben Simmons in the game in closing time because he'll get fouled. Tobias Harris, he didn't even show up tonight. What do you have? 8 points, 6 points, something crazy like that. I mean, they don't have a closer, which is
4
why.
points. Sorry,
4 points. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Jimmy Butler was perfect when he was there, because you could let Embiid and them do all that killing like they want to do during the game, and Jimmy could just close it out. You know what I mean? Obviously, they came up short against Toronto, but
you also can't get outscored by 21 in the fourth.
You said what?
You can't get outscored by 21 in the fourth.
Right.
Who do you blame for this collapse? Do you blame Ben Simmons not being able to hit free throws, or do you blame Doc Rivers for not making adjustments?
What were you saying? I wanted to hear what Mike was saying. What was you saying, Mike?
But you're saying like there's no closer, and you're saying big men this and that. I mean, like John said to Shaq before, there have been big men in the game, in the history of the game, that are closers. If Embiid stays on the block and just bullies down, either you're going to get a call or you're going to hit a shot, because you can't really defend him at the rim.
Yeah, but when you got Lou Williams coming down hitting threes, and you got Trae Young coming down hitting threes, them twos. I mean, I hate to say it, it's a 3-point game. I mean, those twos, I get it, but I mean that's what I mean by they don't have a closer. They don't have anybody that can really create their own shot and hit a three. I mean, at the end of the game, they don't.
In answer to Alex's question, Alex, I'm gonna tell you this. I blame Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and the rest of that starting cast for letting a 20-some plus lead get blown out. But secondly, I have to give it to Doc Rivers for not recognizing and making the necessary adjustments. But I will say this to you right now. They damn sure better correct this mistake, because come Friday night or Saturday, whenever the next time they play, if they don't correct these mistakes Friday night, it's over. Atlanta will not let.
Eric, they're leaving on a jet plane to go back home. ATL's closing it out, bro.
They had a 22-point lead at the half, just so you know. At the
I
half,
know.
22 points.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, with 5 minutes left, they had like a 12-point lead or something like that.
And that's when Trae Young and the rest of the Atlanta Hawks, and I give them all the credit in the world. You went into Philly and you screwed up the Broad Street Bullies, and you just you punched them in the mouth in their own house. You walked on their jungle gym, you pissed in their Cheerios and said, "You want us? Come see us down now in Chocolate City." That's what you're gonna have.
He went to the free throw line 19 times.
They had an 18.
Crazy.
They had an 18-point. They had an 18-point lead going into the fourth quarter. 18-point lead going into the fourth, and they blew that.
Yeah. He shot 17 and 19 from the free throw line. 19 free throws. Wow.
This is about
no good. All I see is red. Trapping ain't dead. ATL. Welcome to the playoffs.
I know. So, all right, we're going back to
Game 7, baby. It's going.
We're going back
7.
to WNBA real quick because Megan, I want to talk to you about the Dallas Wings. Dallas Wings right now sitting fifth, tied for fifth in the league, and I know this is a team that you cover. So, talk to me about them Dallas Wings, Miss Megan Price, please.
So the Dallas Wings, they have a 5-6 record right now, and while we've lost six games, we have not lost by more than 7 points. Friday, we beat the Mercury 77-59. Sunday, we lost to the Aces 85-78. So that's our biggest loss right there. And then also our loss to the New York Liberty was the same deficit. So, I think they've made some major adjustments within their draft right there. Satu Sabalier, the young lady that was from Oregon, she had a career high against Vegas. She had 24 points, 2 assists, and 8 rebounds. So, I think that Dallas has made the adjustments to really improve. Now, I don't think they're going to finish number 1, number 2. I think that's still solidified from last year's season. Number 1 is Seattle. Number 2 is Vegas. And I don't think that's going to change. It's not changing from last year either. It's the same as last year. But Dallas is on the move up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, they're tied for fifth with Atlanta, Phoenix. So, I mean, it remains to be seen what they're going to do. I'm going to flip it over and talk about the team that I cover, and that's the Chicago Sky. And listen, I'm going to say this right now. For anyone who has jumped off the Chicago Sky fan base, you ain't allowed back on the wagon. We kicking you out. Because, yes, they lost 7 straight. They did. Lost to the Sparks. They lost to Phoenix. They lost to Atlanta. But you know what? They were not healthy. And I know people say it doesn't matter. It's next woman up. And I get that. Trust me. I'll take it. But what I'm telling you right now is what I've watched this team do, not only against Indiana, but what they've done against teams that they are starting to get that continuity together. They have played 5-on-5. The addition of bringing back a veteran in Lexi Brown. You add in a rookie in Dana Watts.
That's my girl right there.
I love Lexi Brown.
Dana Evans, excuse me. Oh. I was thinking Stephanie Watts, but Dana Evans. When you give your starters, your Courtney Vandersloots, your Candace Parkers, your Stephanie Dolsons, your Diamond DeShields, your Kalia Coppers, when you have, and I'm going to say it, Megan, the best bench led by one of the top scorers in the league in Allie Quigley, coming off, I mean, she's 6th Woman of the Year, hands down. When you have that depth and that leadership, this team is only going to get better. I am excited for what happens. The only thing that annoys me, and it shouldn't because I love the Olympics, is the fact that they get time off. But that time off is what's going to make them better. So when the Chicago Sky, I mean, right now they're heading to Connecticut. They got to face the Sun. And then actually they play the Sun a couple more times. And Connecticut's the team, I think, this year that a lot of people who weren't expecting them to do well based on what they did in the bubble last year, look at where they're at right now. They're 3rd right now at 8-3, 1 game behind the Las Vegas Aces. So let me ask the rest of the crew, Alex, John, Ty, Mike, let me ask y'all, when you look at the WNBA this year, give me the one thing that stands out to you gentlemen about the league this year, celebrating their 25th anniversary. And Tyree, I'm going to start with you.
My Sparks, we miss Candace Parker.
Yeah, I'm going to thank you for that one.
We went from being one of the best teams last year to, not having one of the worst records, but we don't have a very good record this year. Like I said, we're missing her, man. It's just, it just shows how valuable she is, man. I don't, but I think we'll be fine though. We got Agunike. I mean, we just have to retool a little bit, man. We have to do better, but I think we're most definitely missing her. That's the one thing that I noticed from the season.
Fair enough. Mr. Fleming, give me your thoughts on the WNBA, sir.
I love seeing Las Vegas because they have different skill sets. They can beat you from deep. They can beat you down low. I love it when a big woman's going down low and she's got a smile on her face when she's abusing the opponents. I love that. That's my heart right there. I love the fact that the Chicago Sky got their licks in early. They were getting beat up. But once Candace came back, all of a sudden, they're on a winning streak. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned my girl Quigley. I'm actually a big fan of hers because she plays an all-around game. WNBA is not just for the ladies. It's for the fellas, too. We can learn something from the WNBA. And they're in their 25th season. Like Corn, they're here to stay. throw some respect on their name.
Mr. Caratenuto.
Well, we were talking about Diana Taurasi. I mean, it sucks that she's injured. I mean, they
But she's
started
coming
out-
back. She's
I
coming
know
back.
she is, but again, and like you said, I mean, the about the Olympics, it is kind of a bummer, but that makes me happy too because that'll give her time off. Because, like Megan said earlier too, the thing that it was, you know, obviously with Seattle and Vegas back up top in the standings, like it's the same as last year. But yeah, I mean, I'm with Alex, man. I hated that when I saw somebody big going down, just smiling, knowing that nothing anybody could do could stop them. They're just going to go right, go left. They don't even have to dunk it on you. They can just look down at you and bank it off the glass. But I mean, I do love the way Vegas plays. The good news for Phoenix is they have the next 3 against the lowly Sparks, so they should win 3 in a row. But, you know, I'm just going to say that. So hopefully they can win 3 in a row and get back up in the middle of the mix. But, yeah, the Olympic break will help. But, yeah, I want the Mercury to bring home another championship, man, because they just got to get in the playoffs and then we see what happens.
Mr. John Shear.
Yeah, so I've noticed it all years. The league is gaining more notoriety, and I still think that they have a ways to go, much like the MLB. They have to market their product better. That's something that they got to work on, is getting their name out there more, you know, getting themselves on TV more, things like that, TV deals, and that takes time. But they're working on getting their name out there and things like that. So I've noticed that more people are talking about them than in years past. Just each year after each year, it seems like more and more people are giving them love and giving them attention as opposed to just being women that play sports, which is what people have always considered it. Now people are actually talking about it, and you see it on Twitter, you see it on all kinds of social media.
Hey,
Megan Price. Hold on. Let me get Megan Price a final word, China. We gonna move on.
I just want to say something real quick, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Ty.
Hey, man. You know, my homegirl, Dominique Wilson, she's played for NC State, man. Hey, man, you know, if any teams need a point guard, give my homie a shot, man. She's real good. You know what I'm saying? She led them in scoring her last 2 years, man. I know she had an opportunity with the Aces at one point, but it didn't work out. But hey, you know, if anybody's listening, look her up. Dominique Wilson, go ahead.
And that's the biggest piece. Before I go to Megan, and I'm sorry, and I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, when I had the conversation with the commissioner, I asked her about that. I said, you know, there is a call for expansion in the WNBA.
Yeah.
There definitely is, and there needs to be. And she said if COVID wouldn't have happened, I think there would have been more progress towards that. But because, unfortunately, what happened with the pandemic, we have to wait a little bit. But she did say that there are still talks about expanding to those bigger markets. And, you know, like Fred Taylor says on I Am Athlete, exposure leads to expansion. So, Megan Price, my apologies for holding you up. Final word, and then we're going to move on.
To kind of piggyback off of what John was talking about, they have actually marketed their product a little bit different this year. They've gone to streaming. If you notice, a lot of the games are on Facebook Live. They have games on Amazon Prime, and they are in a partnership with Google as well. So, you know, they've done some different things. They've got the Commissioner's Cup also, which is a $500,000 prize to the championship team. This week, Tina Charles got a Player of the Week for the East. Breanna Stewart got Player of the Week for the West. Tina has 21.3 points per game and 8.3 rebounds. She plays for the Mystics. And then Breanna has 18.3 points, 4.3 assists, and 10.3 rebounds, and she plays for the Storm. Currently, we have no Della Dawn, who's the previous MVP from 2019, and we don't have DT back yet either, but this is her week for evaluation. Tia Cooper was suspended for the game tonight with her altercation against the Leafs. So she's not playing this week or tonight. The WNBA will wear warm-up shirts commemorating and honoring their social justice and playing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice, on Juneteenth this weekend. Seattle Storm player Candace Dupree moves to 5th in all-time games and played, and then Sue Bird last night, like we were talking about, moved to 2nd with 907 3-pointers.
Wait, how we gonna talk about all that, Megan? And you don't bring the fact up that now 4th in assist is my girl Courtney Vandersloot from the Chicago Sky.
Oh,
how you not bring that up?
I didn't know. I'm writing it down.
I'm just saying.
I saw that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's dope.
Listen, Court and Allie, that is my favorite. That is my favorite power couple. I love when I get a chance to talk to them. And like I told both of them in the post game last night, There were 3 times last night where someone should have been yelling Vanderquigs because when Court finds Allie and Allie makes that shot, it's over. It's a wrap. I'm telling y'all. Hey, more with the Sports Arena. We're going to jump back to the WNBA. More with the Western Conference. We're back in 30 seconds. And welcome back to the Sports Arena. Shout out to my man Rob for creating that graphic for me, man. That brother hooks me up each and every time. So if anybody needs some good graphic work, check out my man at Rob Graphics on Twitter. He will definitely take care of y'all. So let's get back to the NBA. Let's get back to the Western Conference because I want to ask y'all a question, and I put this in the chat earlier. Does Chris Paul have a glass ceiling, y'all? Ty and I touched on this morning when we talked about it. It just appears as though during the regular season, Chris Paul just seems to be that go-to guy. He's a floor general. He is probably one of the best mid-range shooters out there in the league today. But once he gets to the playoffs, there seems to be some lingering injury or an injury that occurs that sidelines him or does not keep him at 100% to where he cannot get to the NBA Finals. So John Scheer, I see you shaking your head. Does CP3 have a glass ceiling?
I said it on Monday. It's always something with this guy in the playoffs. He can't get to the finals, and then when he gets to this point, when he gets to a vital point, something always comes up. I mean, COVID's not his fault. I mean, I can't imagine that's his fault, but it's always something with this guy. Remember the Houston series against Golden State? What happened there? Oh, what do you know? He's hurt. The guy's always hurt when you need him, like LaDainian Tomlinson in the playoffs. He's nowhere to be found. That's what I think of CP3. That's what I will always think of him. That's just how he's going to be remembered. He's never going to be able to get over the top.
Mike, I understand your disappointment and your disdain for what John said. I do. But the facts are the facts. You can't
control injuries. You can't control.
Mike,
look, I'm so.
I get what you're saying, my brother. Mike, I get what you're saying. But let's look at the history, okay?
I get it.
CP3.
I get it. The
okay, go ahead.
Doc Rivers. I get it. They're one game away from beating, and again, changing a lot of people's futures, because if Houston wins that, they go on to win the title, and then guess what? Chris Paul's still in Houston. James Harden's still in Houston, and I mean the Suns are probably still tanking, winning 20 games a year. So I mean, Suns fans are happy that didn't happen, not for the injury, but that Houston didn't win it. But look, I get in every sport, not just basketball, because what did we hear in the beginning when the season started? Oh, there's going to be a lot of soft tissue injuries. Everybody's whispering that on the side, like the teams that were in the bubble, especially the Lakers and the Heat, but then even the teams that were in the finals, the teams that didn't make the bubble, what did they care, man? They hadn't played in in 8-9 months. They were good. They're like, let's get the season going. Everybody talks about soft tissue injuries. When the NFL had their the collective bargaining a while back, it's every sport. Look, I get some guys just happen to be injured. I mean, Ty and Megan were going back and forth on Kawhi today. It's one of those things where, yes, it is frustrating to see about Chris Paul. People say, oh, he played for the Clippers, or they curse this and that. Look, man, dudes come up with injuries all the time. You're telling me Klay Thompson in practicing is injury prone because all of a sudden he's rehabbed from his ACL, and then his Achilles blows out, like he's injured. Like I hate the word injury prone, and like somebody's always hurt. Injuries happen in sports, and when it's this kind of a season, and every single broadcaster or analyst that used to play is sitting there saying, "Well, you can't use that excuse." Like you said, Eric, next man up, next woman up. But guess what? There's going to be a lot of soft tissue injuries. That's what's frustrating. And the COVID and this whole thing indefinitely. This is my last thing I want to say to you guys too, because when you and Ty were talking today, I was right on. The word indefinitely drives me nuts. First of all, and I'm not going to get deep into it because Megan hit it perfectly last time. LeBron didn't go into any protocol when he should have been in protocol. because they wanted LeBron to play. Now, look, if this series goes 7 and he's been fully vaccinated, and I think if he comes up with 3 negative tests in a row after 5 days, I think it was 5 days because he's fully vaccinated. If he comes up with 3 negative in a row, he might only miss game 1 of the series, and he might not even miss game 1. So, again, is he have a glass ceiling? Is he cursed? Look, he battled through the shoulder injury. So all the Chris Paul haters, I'm not saying that any of you guys are, but all the Chris Paul haters, he tried to play on the court with one arm. Yeah, it hurt him in game 2 against the Lakers and a little bit in game 3, but that extra day off for game 4, that's when Chris Paul turned the corner, and that's when he looked better. So he fought through it, and Devin Booker stepped up. And the only thing I disagree with you when you were saying Jazz in 5, Mike Conley, same thing, man. His hamstring's killing him. He was supposed to go tonight. Now he had a setback. If Mike Conley doesn't play, there's no way the Jazz might beat the Suns, but it's not less than 7.
Damn, Mike. How long you going to talk?
All right.
He had a lot to get off his chest, man.
Fired up about Chris Paul because everybody rips him, and the dude just sits there, keeps bringing records.
I'm not ripping him. Mike, I'm not ripping him. I'm just trying to get the understanding, okay?
I don't mean you.
You get so far every single year, and then something happens to you. Whether it be physical, whether it be COVID, but I'm saying to you, we have to address that because it's like Chris Paul. He's in the talks. He's in the conversation. He took a young, hungry Phoenix Suns team who did go 8-0 in the bubble last year, something that you were touting and screaming from the rafters. Then they come this season, they bring in Chris Paul, they finish, to get to the postseason, and then it's like the same time. That's what I'm saying to you.
I'm just saying that he might miss 1 game. I understand it's brought up, but it's not an injury, it's COVID. And he played through the shoulder injury. What else do you want from a guy that's a point guard that has to dribble the ball to play through a shoulder injury? Everybody's giving Trae Young Trae Young's got a shoulder injury. Let's give him props. What did Chris Paul do?
I mean, I think, but what they're saying, Mike, is he just mysteriously gets hurt around the same time every year. And I might take a page out of what somebody else said. I think somebody from New Orleans put some voodoo on Chris Paul. And I'm just saying because something don't sound right, man. Like, even with the COVID, it's crazy that we haven't really even, I can't remember, but we haven't even really had anybody lately that's really even had to go into protocol that I could think of, especially in the playoffs. So that's just crazy in itself. It makes me think that maybe he did more than violate a protocol and that he might actually have COVID. But I mean, I know they probably. He did test positive. So yeah, but see, that's the thing. Y'all saying with LeBron never tested positive. So I don't know how that's relevant to anything. But
he did test right after that. He should have been put in protocol.
He broke protocol. So he
got no penalty for it.
But right before that, the guy from the Pacers, what Karis LeVert, he had to sit out games for health and safety protocols, but LeBron didn't. But the difference in CP3 is he tested positive, so he's not.
But Karis LeVert also had that.
I get a little defensive on Chris Paul, even when he wasn't in Phoenix.
Didn't LeVert also have that medical problem earlier in the year?
Yeah, heart. I believe it was a heart.
Yeah, his was a little different.
Karis had cancer on his kidney.
Yeah, so of course he was going to sit out. In regards to that.
Mr. Fleming, if we could grab you, sir, really quick. I want to get you for this last piece with Chris Paul, and then I do want to jump to our last topic here this evening. So, does he have a glass ceiling, sir?
I believe he does, but here's the thing. I don't think the Suns need him for game 1. Let's do the mathematics. They got rid of Denver quick, which actually behooved the Suns organization. Bro, the Suns have time. The Clippers and Jazz are going to fight, and best case scenario, that series is going to be done Friday night. Best case scenario. If it goes to game 7, Chris Paul won't miss a damn game. He might be asymptomatic. He might miss only 1 game. I would take Chris Paul and the Suns down 0-1 for game 2 than I would no Chris Paul for the series at all. End of discussion.
But Alex, we don't know the effect that it might have on it, the lingering effects it might have on him. I mean, you've heard different people say that. Well, what's my guy name from the Browns, the defensive end? He said he wasn't the same for a very long time. Now if he's asymptomatic, that's one thing. But I mean,
I mean, Cam
I'm
Newton
not
wasn't the
worried.
same. He threw 10 picks and 8 touchdowns. Oh,
I
wait,
knew,
that's just
how did I know
normal
you was
Cam
going to
Newton.
say that? How did I
Okay.
know you
Normal
was gonna say
Cam Newton. Sorry.
Last topic.
Sorry, bad,
Last topic
bad.
we are going to discuss, as we did find out this morning, Kawhi Leonard. One thing I'm hearing is a strained right knee. The next thing I'm hearing is a torn ACL. So I'm going to go off of what I've heard from my team here and saying that it is, in fact, a torn ACL. All right. Kawhi Leonard is officially out of the NBA playoffs this year. What does that mean? That means it is on Paul George to rise to the occasion. So, very simply, Megan Price, Mike Caratenuto, Ty Ray, John Shear, Alex Fleming. Does Paul George have what it takes to get the Clippers to the next level, to the Western Conference Final? I'm not talking NBA Finals. I'm talking to the Western Conference Finals. Does Paul George have what it takes to get there? Miss Megan Price?
I think he has the ability to win a game, put the team on his back, one game. I don't think he has the ability to win this series.
Mike Caratenuto.
I think he can. I think
Okay.
he's tired of hearing about it, but I mean, look, I'm on the fence, but I'm going to go with he definitely, I think, wants to prove everybody wrong, and I think he's got enough around him to do it.
Tyree?
Especially with Mike Conley.
I mean, he needs some help, man. In order for them to beat the Utah, even a game, well, right now he's getting some help from Marcus Morris. He's going to need a lot of help from Marcus Morris, Bobby Smurda, aka Reggie Jackson, and I see we got a playoff Rondo sighting tonight. Is he going to be playoff Rondo or is he going to be regular Rondo? I don't know, but I have to agree with Megan. I think he has enough to maybe get a game, but enough to win the series. I just don't think they have enough in general.
John Shear.
No, he's Robin to Kawhi's Batman, and now Robin doesn't get to be Batman. I don't trust him. He's not the same guy as he was in Indy for me. You never know. Like he said with Rondo in the playoffs, you never know what Paul George you're going to get. I mean, one night he's great, another night he doesn't show up. So I don't trust him enough. Utah's a really good team, and I think they'll dispose of him in 6.
Mr. Fleming.
Hail to the no. To the no, no, no. Hail to the no.
Enough said.
That's it.
That's it. We leaving it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all very much for tuning in to the Sports Arena tonight. Shout out to everybody joining me. We will talk to y'all on Monday. Hey, happy Juneteenth, everybody. See ya.